Alright, yeah, because we don't have to play super long today if you guys don't want to. We'll just see how everything rolls, and,
Yeah, we'll see.
go with it, I guess.
I should be fine. I took Advil.
Okay.
It'll fix it, right?
Yeah, drug
All better.
yourself!
Mm-hmm.
Alright. In which case, yeah, we can start. I think, what did I have on my notes last time? Yes. You guys headed, down the road to the south end of the island? Um, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you discovered the abandoned gym. And then after a short conversation regarding whether or not to go in quietly or kick the door down,
Mm-hmm.
V failed the plan successfully. Um,
Mm-hmm.
went in, investigated. He found that the gym was trashed. There were signs of a not so recent break in. You guys went upstairs to the viewing area, saw some squatters down in the arena who had evidently hunkered down for the time being. Although they were picking up trash after themselves, so, you know. Are they
Polite
bad?
spotter.
Really? No, I'm just kidding.
Are we the baddies?
Are we the bad?
Mm-hmm.
Did we just come in here and
Probably.
scare them out of their home? Is this even a gym?
Roll a perception check.
Oh God.
They legally bought it for themselves and have been living there, and we just kicked them out.
Yeah.
They did chloroform you using Jigglypuff though, so
Fair.
You know.
That was rude.
That was rude.
But you also found Blur, your good old friend, your buddy pal Blur, who had arrived there only a short time ago. V, you got tackled by his Charmander, who thought that you were one
Yeah, that
of
was
the baddies. Um,
It's okay. It's blackmail material. It's fine.
yeah, just barely avoided a slap fight. Milo and Kid tried to find a way to get to the arena without alerting the two people seen earlier, but kind of failed because Blur and V were kind of making a big fuss about things. So,
Yeah.
Blur stormed off. He got put to sleep using Sing, and then you guys discovered him passed out in a hallway. And then after a brief regroup, you guys made plans to go deeper inside, and eventually everybody made it to the arena. And then you had a real good battle. There was a
Type 19.
yes, Type 19 with a prolonged fight. There was some dramatic harmonizing by the Type 19 grunts, and you guys managed to kick them back. And they just barely escaped Kid's wrath. And as he said, next time it
Get
is
you next time.
on site. And then on the way back
Yep.
to town, Milo seized probability by the balls, acquired a Pidgey, and then V
You
also,
wanted it hard enough.
Yep. V also acquired a Pidgey, just to spite him.
Well, you know.
And those two Pidgeys are lovers, question mark, or mortal enemies?
They're rivals.
They're rivals.
Probably.
Why not both?
Okay.
Yeah.
But you did send one of the Pidgeys back, right? So you currently in your party...
Phoebe went back because I still have my my regular party.
Okay. Cool. So you
Piper's
still...
gonna get so strong, and the next time they see each other, she's gonna kick the shit out of Phoebe.
Jesus.
I'm not gonna be able to stop her.
No.
Poor Phoebe.
But yeah, you guys headed back to Beige Town, healed up their Pokemon, healed up your Pokemon, and then you had a kind of late lunch. After which you decided to head out on your 4-hour hike towards the Wilderness Reserve on the west side of the island. Now, just for clarity, I think given the fact that you guys got back, you got to the gym around noon-ish probably, and everything there finished. Hiking back took you another 2 hours. So it's around, after lunch, it's around 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
A hike.
Yes. It was a hike down to the south side of the island. So it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon now, 3 and 4. So I guess plans were made tentatively that you guys would be camping for the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna head to the west, we'll get there like at dusk, and we can check the place out, tonight, tomorrow, and head back and be back here by dusk tomorrow, and then maybe D will be ready to leave at that point, and we can continue on to Cinnabar.
Yeah. I think so.
I mean, as long as everyone's cool with that, I think that's probably the best way to do it.
It's fine. We'll find an abandoned cabin over in the West Reserve area, and then we won't have to camp outside.
You're right. We absolutely will.
Mhm.
Then yeah, I guess after our, because like for Milo, he wouldn't be a couple hours walk, wouldn't wind him. I don't think that would bother Kid. So,
We'll complain, but
yeah, we'll just head out that
You know.
afternoon.
Okay. All right. In which case, yeah, I guess you guys will be heading out of town. You're not, I guess everybody, no, you did go shopping. You did go shopping, I think.
Mhm.
You popped into the
Mhm.
Pokemart earlier.
I must have, for I have no money.
yeah,
Okay.
we kind of have very little funds left.
Okay. Because I was wondering about that. I think I forgot to mention that in my recap is the fact that you guys did make a pit stop at the Pokemart and you must have bought something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Fast
had
shopping.
potions again, so
Okay.
Couple more Pokeballs.
Alrighty then, in which case, you guys are setting out on the road. So there's a pretty clear sign right out of the gate of the city, that kind of points you towards the Wilderness Reserve, and there's only one road, really easy to just go down it. So we'll get going. So as soon as you get kind of far enough out of town, do I have a little scene for this? Do I? I don't know. Well, let's just go here.
Oh, hello, Ivory. Please stop dying. You got healed.
Oh, that's right, dude. I forgot that.
That's an old Ivory too.
That's an
She doesn't
old
even have
Ivory. Yes,
upgraded.
All right. So as soon as you guys get far enough out of town, the road slowly begins to incline upwards, and each step is a little bit heavier, a little bit more filled with gravity. But there's a nice breeze.
And complaining.
V's complaining. Okay, noted. Roll for complaining.
oh no.
Roll persuasion for complaining.
Persuasion. Yeah, okay. There you
That sounds about right. That tracks.
Yeah.
go. A middling persuasion.
A middling complaint. V's kind of having fun regardless of how annoyed he is.
We haven't quite gotten to the worst of it yet, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, I think at one point the road turns and you guys step out from behind the trees and see that you've come to like a small overlook. Before you, there's a beautiful sky stretching in every direction, real big, much bigger than you're used to. Even living in Pallet, there's just something about the small island life. Falls back into an equally blue stretch of ocean. There's some clouds drifting slowly across the horizon. And you've been walking for a while at this point, and down below there's a cluster of red and blue rooftops that you can see of the town that you'd left behind only about, an hour ago, I would say. There's a little group of Wingle, so small that they're probably only little squiggles drifting to the north. But all around you, there's like a soft background buzz of Pokemon.
What kind of Pokemon do you think are in a Pokemon reserve on an island?
I mean, it's probably whatever was native here. And then as people started to bring others in, maybe they needed to be kept safe, like the Ekans Pidgey that we've seen just everywhere.
Do you think that Ekans was an escapee?
Maybe.
Did
I
he
haven't
run away
seen
from
any
home?
except for that one track.
But have you been looking?
Can't honestly say that I have. Been looking more towards the sky than the ground, but we could look for an Ekans, I guess.
We might find an entire colony of them. Just
Big
hanging out?
snakes.
Just a basket full of snakes.
Yeah. What do you think Acacia would think if we all just sent back like 10 Ekans each?
Oh my god. I don't know, but I have to find out now.
No,
We just
no,
send a horde of snakes.
don't give him ideas.
So that was definitely supposed to be a joke. I wasn't.
That's too bad.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I think I'd
Oh.
know better by now.
Look what you did, Milo.
I love the idea, but unfortunately for me, and I guess fortunately for you, I only have a couple Pokeballs.
That's true. I only have.
I could only send a maximum of like 6 snakes.
That's probably 5 more than what she would necessarily want, right?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I don't know. Maybe they really love snakes.
who
What if
knows,
they're
maybe-
like starting a snake circus?
It did have a Tangela, and that's kind of snake adjacent with all the vines.
Yeah, kind of.
Do you think they know what a Tangela looks like without the tangles?
I'm wondering, like, how solid is it? Could an Ekans
Is it
actually
all
like,
just-
get into the mass of the Tangela?
Uh,
Like, just slither in and then just like pop out like a worm out of an apple?
gross. Is it all just like vines, or is there like a little black core?
It's
There
gotta be
has to be.
something.
It has eyeballs,
Yeah, and it has like little faux sneakers on.
right? It has feet.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay, I guess we need to catch a Tangela so we can figure out the answers to these questions, because these answers aren't in the Pokedex or in any books I've read, so, you know, I guess we'll have to get the answers.
All right.
Inane babbling as we're walking.
Honestly, I love this. This is exactly what a conversation between teenagers is like. I would say after about another 2 hours of walking, the road that used to be wide and evened out with use begins to thin out a little bit. You pass by what appears to be a resting station at one point, with some benches and a clearing and a little water fountain for Pokemon and for people. Like different heights, you know. There's a sign on the road pointing the way you're going, which reads, Shell Island, Wilderness Reserve, and just continues pointing off that way.
If it's a wilderness reserve, are we allowed to catch Pokemon on it? Are we gonna get in trouble?
Milo would know, but that's kind of the point of the reserves, right? Is that there's supposed to be a place where Pokemon can kind of run free and then trainers can come in and,
And not.
with authorization,
Yeah.
probably,
Yep.
you know, catch X amount of Pokemon. It's kind of like a safari zone, is what I've been
Yeah, yeah.
assuming.
I would say Milo, with his background knowledge of
Permission.
just rangers in general, Pokemon reserves are areas usually not necessarily run, because you don't need to run a reserve as much as you need to just kind of protect it and maintain it. But yeah, you definitely can catch Pokemon in a reserve as long as it is allowed. I think they have seasons for specific things, and sometimes they're like, nope, this one's off limits, but most of the time, yeah. It's not a zoo.
So we have
it's a
to
reserve.
So we have to go and ask permission. Do you think it costs money? I don't really have any money left.
Yeah, I didn't think about it costing money. I mean,
Well-
only one way we can find out.
To that point, do you guys
Are they-
continue onwards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Stop for a minute, get some water, and then keep going.
excellent.
Water the Pokemon.
Great. At this point, it is getting a little bit later in the day. You've been walking for about 3 hours now, so it's getting to be 6. The sun's not setting, but it is slowly getting a little bit darker, so I hope you guys will forgive the fact that I will place you on a map that kind of looks like it's night. I feel like it's not going to ruin
Night
anything.
vision. Oh shit, it's Dratini!
God fucking damn it! Listen,
Get it!
Get it!
I'm gonna put on different music because, man, this is intense.
Alright. So, as we're getting close, we're gonna need to look for a place to set up
A
camp.
house.
Well, hold on a second there.
Abandoned cabin.
Sorry, I'm playing with music, so...
Oh, okay.
I will say that as you continue further in, eventually you see a little gatehouse. Because you're still walking down the road. But eventually you see a little gatehouse that is offset to the side of the road. It's essentially a miniature cabin with a large porch, which functions, you think, as an office of sorts. There's like a wooden...
station.
Yeah, there's like a wooden gate that blocks the road, which seems ineffective, but there's also a sign reading, Trainer Checkpoint, no entry without license. High-level Pokemon beyond this point, which is a little bit more convincing.
Okay. Well, here we go.
Oh shit. How high level do they mean?
I guess that's one of the first questions we should ask. And he'll walk up and knock on the door.
Okay. As you walk up, you actually realize that there's a person there. And I apologize.
No, you're good, you're good.
I'm still trying to find music that's not intense. Everything from Sapphire and Pearl is so fucking bouncy.
Right?
No! Okay, there we go. Something chill for once. Good fucking lord. Okay. Sorry about
Chill
that.
the fuck out, Pokemon.
So yeah, Milo, you head on over with the full intention of knocking on the door, and as you kind of approach, you realize that on the porch, sitting on a rocking chair, which is probably why you didn't see him, because there's a kind of rail that blocked him from view, there's what appears to be a 40-year or so old man with large mustache, a pipe. He's holding what appears to be like a tablet in one hand, and he is evidently focused on a very interesting novel, or maybe a particularly difficult crossword, it's hard to tell. Next to him, on the railing, is a gigantic white bird that you can see, with a large beak. You can roll some Arcana to see if you can figure out what that Pokemon is.
I think I would know.
Pokedex it.
Oh, it's an 11.
Okay. You think it might be a Wingull evolution, but you don't remember specifically right now what the name is.
I can't remember it.
V just like stands and points his Pokedex at it.
Okay. Your Pokedex scans it, and at this point the man kind of looks up and raises his eyebrows at you. Doesn't really react negatively and just goes, oh. And at the same time, your Pokedex does inform you that it is a Pelipper. The Pelipper, for what it's worth, also doesn't really react. It's just kind of like, yes.
Does it also have a pipe?
The Pelipper? No.
Hell yeah.
But, you know,
Aw.
that's actually kind of funny.
Where the pipe? As he kind of is walking up and notices him, he startles. Oh, hi. We're Pokemon trainers. I guess this is the checkpoint. Sorry, we've never been to one of these reserves. We just got our license. Hi, I'm Milo. And he's gonna hand his hand out.
Oh, well, alright then. Polite one. Nice to meet you. What, Milo, was it? And the guy holds out his hand, takes yours. He's got large
Nice to meet you
hands,
too.
very, very, like covered in calluses, very rough hands. Kind of looks at you, looks at Kid, looks at V, and goes, oh, alright. Well, you kids, you got your licenses, you said? Alright, I'm gonna need to see him there for a sec.
Yep. And he'll take his out of his backpack.
Sure. Right. Don't get a lot of visitors here recently. You guys are the first ones to come through tonight, so let's see. Okay.
Are there houses to stay inside of this place?
The guy who's looking at your license V glances up at you, raises his very bushy eyebrows, and kind of chuckles and goes, if you build one, there sure will be.
Are we allowed to do that?
Well, you'll need a building permit first, but no, No, kiddo, you're gonna have to probably stay in a tent there, my friend. Of course, sleeping straight up on the beach is always an option, but, now hold on a second, here you go, you got, alright. 3 Pokemon capacity, yep, okay, checks out to me, yep, thank you kindly, here you go. Now, you boys, you got any fire types on ya?
One.
You
You got
thing.
Pyra.
You got one? Okay. Alright, here's the deal. You set something
Don't
on
burn forest
fire.
down.
Yep, you set something on fire, you put it out. You don't put it out, me and Pelipper here will put you out. No littering, no releasing nothing you didn't catch on the island. I see you trying to set a Weedle free around here. You'll be going back to Pelipper in Pelipper's gullet. You clear? That all clear?
Will he?
Yeah,
Does
that
he
sounds-
actually? Will he eat us?
You'll certainly try.
I don't
Damn.
want to risk that. Or see, no.
We just kind of like looks closer at the Pelipper to see like how big his mouth is and whether he would fit inside of it.
You are a pretty skinny dude. Yes, you probably would. This thing's pretty big. It's like, it's sitting directly kind of like on the floor next to the man. But it is still reaching up like near his shoulder when he's sitting on his rocking chair. So you're like, if you scrunch down, you could probably fit in there. And as you lean closer, the Pelipper kind of opens its mouth just a little bit and just goes, ah!
Just kind of like peek inside. Huh.
You don't see it much in there. It's kind of dark.
Yeah. Just a big,
Yep.
big open thing of Pelipper.
Yep.
Weird.
Kind of chuckles and goes, alright, yep, no Weedle, no setting anything that's not native around here, and then, oh yeah, that's right, and he reaches over and he taps another sign that's kind of posted up, on this porch, and it has a silhouette of a specific Pokemon. Does anybody want to roll me another Arcana to see if you recognize that one?
Always slightly better.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. This Pokemon is not native to Kanto V. You recognize it as well. It is a Nincada, or Nincada, if you want the American pronunciation. And right below the silhouette of the Nincada, it says, no catching off limits.
Don't catch weird bug Pokemon.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a population of Nincada. The Hoenn Reserve's been having trouble keeping them. Because the trainers over there kind of depleted their population, so we're trying to rehabilitate them a little bit here. So not allowed to catch these guys. You hear?
Sounds good.
Did they kill them?
A lot of trainers end up catching them, and then because they all want the evolution. Listen, trainers,
why?
You think I don't mean to be rude, but there's just some trainers that don't care much about these things. They'll catch them up, evolve them, and then forget about it. Leave them with their Pokemon professors. They don't get taken care of. It's a long story. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
In the Pokeballs and then just keep them
Is
on
it-
a shelf.
Is it just the Nincada?
Just an Nincada around here, yeah. You can catch anything else, as long as it'll let you. The rest of the rules, probably nature will teach them to you.
That's comforting.
Sounds great.
What kind of things live out here? Like, what should we be looking for? Should we head out tonight, or should we, like, stay outside the reserve and then head in the morning? What's the best way to approach this?
Well, let's see here. After this gate here, after you pass this gate here, it'll be another about hour hike all the way out to the beach. That's where most trainers post up. Now, of course, you're not limited to that. It's just a good place to set up camp. Got a lot of even ground. I think some people leave fire pits. If you find one that seems to have been set up properly, feel free to use them. But again, as I said, put out any fires that you yourself start. Just be
or get
wary.
eaten by Pelipper.
Sorry, what was that?
I know. What'd you say, V?
But
I think you were trying to say something.
no, I just said before, just like, yeah, put the fires out or get eaten by a pelipper.
Yep. And he goes, and the rest of it, well, so on the beach there, we got a lot of, your usual, you know, Shelder, Wingle, Krabby. If you're lucky, you might see, a horsey. Oh, watch out for the ape bomb. Watch out for the ape bomb.
Oh,
A
God.
lot of them in the forest.
Bitch.
Like I said, gotta, you know, don't try to catch those ones. Do be careful going further out in the forest though, because well, a little bit in's fine. You know, Bellsprout, Oddish, all that good stuff. I do want you to maybe be careful about staying on the path. It looks like you got a Pokemon capacity of 3 there, so I understand you haven't been trainers for a very long time. Maybe don't venture in too deep. Because, you know, Pokemon get pretty territorial. They tend to be a little bit higher level. You might get chased out.
How high a level are we talking?
No, well, we got some gloom deeper in the forest there. And some folks report seeing a Vileplume, so just to let you know.
Poison, yay.
Yep.
Your favorite.
Right, well, definitely gonna look around, and we'll try to at least scan one of the Ninkata with the Pokedex, and we can have it in entry
Sure,
if
sure.
we see one. But we won't catch them, and yeah. I
Are
think-
we allowed to battle them if they attack us, or do we have to just, like, run away and leave them alone?
Oh, you can battle them if you want. If they chase you, they usually live in the ground. Unless you really piss off one of them, they probably won't mind too much. Battle them all you like, as long as you don't hurt them too bad. You know, let them run away if they want to. That's all we ask.
Alright.
Are there any of their evolutions that we need to keep an eye out for?
Well, I've personally run into some cloister if you get further out from the reef, go a little deeper, but they don't tend to come up on the island or anything. They're not interested in what we got going on land.
My love, I want a cloister.
I mean,
The man that's kind of sitting on the porch kind of chuckles and goes, "Oh, sure, buddy. If you can catch one."
it might be better for you to get a shelter, and then we
He
can
said
raise
if I
it.
can catch one.
Yeah, sir, you really got to be careful with what you say. People other than him are gonna get hurt.
Well,
Like you.
here's the
People
thing.
other-
Unless you're coming out here with a full tank of oxygen and diving down deeper than the continental shelf there, I don't think you're gonna be running into a lot of cloister. That's all I'll say.
Shit. Is there any way to make them come out over here?
Sure. I ain't gonna tell you that. You only got slots for 3 Pokemon. You're just starting out. You don't need to be beating any cloister there, boy.
So? Sure I can.
Sure you can. Alright, well, anyway, it's about time for Pelipper to make his nightly rounds here. Sun's going down. So,
Yeah, we gotta get moving.
you boys have fun, but
Well, now I feel like I have to catch one to prove him wrong.
No, excuse me. You don't have to prove everybody wrong just because they tell you that something has to, you have to wait. We can always come back. So we can hold our own. Or like I said, we look for a shelter, which should be closer up to the shore, and then you can just train it.
But I could have a super strong cloister right now.
But will it listen to you?
Yeah, I was just thinking the same. Like, Acacia said that the APOM wouldn't have listened to me, so I don't think a cloister would listen to you.
Yeah, sure would.
And as we walk to the like further down the path, the extra hour, once it starts getting like late-ish in dusk, and he knows he's got maybe like half an hour of light left, we'll find just a patch off the road to set up the 2 tents in.
Okay. It is an hour walk. Let's see. Why don't we do this? You can... Well, roll me a perception, I suppose. Or an investigation. It's up to you. To see how well you can find that.
Could I use survival?
You could also use survival. I would also, yeah. Absolutely.
26.
Damn! Alright. Cool. In which case you set out with Milo at your point. He seems to know what he's doing. The road beyond the license checkpoint is a lot more narrow. It's a route-laid path instead of a paved one. There's like a well-walked alley that's walled with thick trees that only gets thicker the deeper you head in. The sun is well and truly getting low now. You are losing light, but you're relatively certain you're heading in the right direction, Milo. Even if there's not a lot of light, the forest is pretty spooky, and sometimes you hear croons from the trees or buzzing, but nothing accosts you. And you think, actually, you're fairly certain you'll be able to make it kind of to the beach before sundown. And actually, for 26, I would say that as you're walking along, you... Cause that's a really high fucking roll.
19.
Yeah, you're walking and you're like, okay, it's this way, but you're also scanning the road all around you. You find the following. You find a cluster of mushrooms that you think might be edible. You'll have to double check a little bit later, but if you wanted to pick those up, you could.
Yes, I will.
Okay. Add some mushrooms, possibly edible, to your inventory. You also find a dried out tree that you think would be perfect for like firewood. You can strip off some bark pretty easily.
Yes.
I like that. You also find some tracks in the wet mud at one point that seem to be Pokemon. Even if you want, you can roll me another Arcana check to identify them, and then also roll me just a flat-out d20.
It's a 22 and a 19.
And the 19, okay.
Yeah,
calm
19,
down, man.
18, 19.
Yeah.
That is
Ability.
incredible. Yeah.
We're gonna die now.
No, yeah, you find some Pokemon tracks and you kind of peer down, and they remind you a little bit of the feet of the Oddish that is presumably still riding in Kid's hoodie. Although, I don't know.
I don't know who we have out. I probably...
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it reminds you of that, but it's significantly larger, and you also see some tracks of some sort of strange, like, semi-transparent liquid that has a very sickly sweet smell to it, and you're like, I think a gloom definitely walked across this path at one point, which, you know, matches up to what you were told. But regardless... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna, like, seeing those tracks, did we want to try to follow these and, you know, catch a gloom? Fight a gloom? Or do we want to avoid the gloom?
I mean, Kid already has an Oddish.
That's true.
If we catch it, the fact that Apom wouldn't listen to you, I don't
Yeah,
think a gloom gonna listen to us.
Keep forgetting. Alright. Alright, then we'll just avoid the tracks and
Okay.
hope it doesn't mess our shit up.
Okay. In which case you continue on and you begin to slowly through the trees see something glittering, Milo. And it takes you a moment to realize that actually you are seeing the sea.
Hey.
Through a long line of trees, there's a long stretch of sand, which kind of rolls into the waves and then disappears into a very nice-looking sunset. Glittering, burning amber that's just kind of glinting off the water. The sky is getting darker, but is currently painted with this beautiful peach and salmon streak of clouds. And you guys slowly, you know, at this point, because it's so close, you just come out directly onto the beach.
We kind of like pressed over onto that view. Milo just puts one hand on V's shoulder. See, if we'd stayed back in town and walked out, then we wouldn't have been able to see that. Look at that.
The ocean.
The sunset on the ocean on an island that we've never set foot on before, in a place that we got on our own 2 feet, 6 feet, however many feet we've got with all our Pokemon.
Yeah, it's alright, I guess.
Well, let's see. I personally know how horrible, beautiful, but horrible camping on the beach can be. So, I would probably set up camp up past the sand line,
Okay.
just so that there's no risk of the tide coming in.
Sand.
And yeah, so that we don't get sand in the tent. And so if it's 100 feet
Risk
or
of
so off the
sand.
shore,
Okay.
however far it goes, but we'll focus firstly on setting up a campsite, and Milo will make like a little fire ring that we can make a fire in,
Okay. Sounds
using his multi-tool and all of his other camping doodads.
good. Okay. By the time you guys are done, I would say that, as in the picture itself, the moon's already out. The sun sets, and it's relatively bright because of the moonlight. So it's not like you can't see, but it's definitely nighttime at this point. I would say maybe 7, 8 o'clock. By the time you're all set up, you got a little tent. You got 2 tents or 1 tent?
2 tents.
2 tents. Okay.
Kid should have Milo's new one, which should go up like you literally flick it like you're unrolling a sheet, and it just snaps into position. Like all the poles and stuff are just built into it. Milo's old one is a little trickier to use, and he probably can do it alone, but would request aid at some point because it's an older style. Because he's using his dad's.
Okay, yeah. That sounds fine. So you guys got 2 tents going. You got a little campfire, which is real fun. What's everybody doing?
V probably like hardcore fights with Milo about putting the tent up, and then when it finally is finished, he just like goes and sits on the beach.
Okay.
Because I'm sure it was not easy trying to explain to him how to do it, and then you try to correct him, and then he gets mad at you.
That sounds pretty accurate.
It's just difficult.
Are the tents next to each other, or are you guys spacing them out a little bit, or what's the plan there?
No, I'd say they're probably next to each other.
Okay.
Like, kind of like, let's see. We got fire. We have tent. And
Angry face.
tent. I did make an angry face. Sand monster. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And then while V goes and sits on the beach, Milo will make 3 camping rations and probably make us like Salisbury steak or something using his camp stove, camping kettle, like all of this stuff that's just coming out of his bag. And he's just like, it's this tiny little box, and he'll unfold it, and it'll unfold into like a little like burner with a pot on the top of it that he can cook stuff in. And he'll take another thing out that looks like it's just a little tiny, like almost like a harmonica. And then he'll start disassembling that until it becomes the kettle that'll cook his like canteen and boil water in that for everything.
Okay. Sounds good.
I haven't backpacked in a long time, so it's kind of fun to live vicariously through my character right now.
Actually, you know what? I'll do you one better. I'll place you on the next map. As much as I love this one, we're just gonna go here because then you guys can actually see where you are.
Hey. Yeah,
Tents.
Tents. I don't have the fire, but it will have to do.
Oh man.
Ah!
What do you think those 2 guys were trying to do at the gym? Like, what was the whole point of that? They seemed like they wanted to, like, play a concert or something.
in the rundown gym.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
the Type
did,
19
did
guys.
did they run it down, or was it run down already? Like they said it happened recently, but it looked like it was in a pretty rough state for it to be recent.
Yeah. That's a that's a fair question that I hadn't considered. That maybe they weren't the thugs that messed it all up. They were just squatting there after the fact. Hmm.
Maybe we are the baddies.
Maybe. Who knows?
Maybe we
They
were the bad
still.
guys.
I
Oh,
mean, well, they still tried to chloroform us, so
They
like
did.
not cool with that. So I don't feel bad about what we did, but
No.
maybe we should have asked a couple more questions while we were there. Before we leave, we should probably poke around a little bit with the locals and see.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Ask around town. That way we don't have to spend a whole day just hiking down there to see that they jumped ship and island to wherever they're going next. V! V, dinner! I've got dinner for you up here whenever you're hungry.
you just hear like soft grumbling. He's he takes out his fishing pole and tries to catch something.
Oh my god.
Quote unquote fishing pole.
Okay. Roll me a. This is. Hold on a second. Did I? No, not yet. Roll me a. Investigation with disadvantage. I swear.
Oh. 10.
10. You cast your line as much as you can, and you kind of wiggle it around in there. And you do see, not movement per se, but you see that there is some things further out, near the rocks, further out from the surf, that might be moving. But at the same time, you don't really get anything biting necessarily. Seems that, the Pokemon have maybe gone to sleep.
I mean,
It's nighttime.
bullshit.
That means it's safe for you to jump in and go grab one
Right now,
Oh,
right now.
can't
oh no.
you can't say these things to me, man.
I feel like Kid has figured out that he can, which is exactly why he's doing it. Kid is
Yep.
like, I have discovered a fun new game.
See if I can get my new friend to get himself killed.
He just like comes over, stares at Kid for a minute, and then goes and like takes his food from Milo and eats it while just like still giving Kid this like really challenging look.
Tell you what. What? No, don't. No, don't. Oh no, don't. And he's gonna put his food down and go, don't. No, you have to
What?
wait at least half an hour. You just ate.
Well, hold on, I was gonna try something.
What were you?
And
Oh, I
he's
thought you ate and then went back down to the water.
well, he did, but he wasn't gonna jump in.
Okay.
He's gonna take out Aurelia's Pokeball and let her out.
Okay. Let me get Aurelia onto the
That's fair. So now that we're here, we can. It's so big.
Oh yeah. I don't know why it always comes out huge. So yeah, you let Aurelia out. And what other Pokemon do you guys have with you?
I was gonna let out Piper.
Most of
since-
them,
Yeah,
probably.
once we set up shop for like camping, Kid has all three out just hanging.
They're probably all kind of like hanging out, getting food.
That's fair. Well, I'll knock a few more Pokemon foods off. Should be able to do this. Whoops.
So for some reason, your starters are fucking huge whenever I put them on the field.
Right.
Actually, all of them are kind of fucking huge, but you know.
Everyone
it's
want to
just
be real big.
Default token
They're
size.
just living their best lives.
They all used growth.
Yeah.
Who am I forgetting? Chester. Where's Chester? Where's your boy? And Blue.
Boy.
Oh, I see.
The pixel one, it doesn't look as good with the others.
That's true. All right.
So many Pokemon need so many mouths to feed.
I mean, they can also like forage in the
Yeah.
forest and try to find some
that's why
berries and stuff.
I knocked off 5 feed for the 10 Pokemon, figuring that half of them will probably forage and the other half will have to be fed.
That's fine.
Do jellyfish eat food? I don't know.
They eat plankton.
photosynthesize?
So yes, they eat
Oh no,
food.
they do. They do. Okay.
But yeah,
She can just eat stuff in the ocean, I guess.
Is that why you released her? You just let her go into the surf?
Well, that can be part of the reason, sure.
Okay.
If it motivates Aurelia, sure.
What else did you want her to do?
Drag
How
a cloister
big-
up.
how big is she, like, compared to me?
Aurelia?
Yeah.
She is, well, she's like, okay, so the technical weight, or height rather, of a tentacle is like 2 feet 11 inches, which is not big.
Okay.
It's like
Not
toddler
huge.
sized. She comes up to about your hip if, you know, you kind of set her on, but that includes her tentacles, right? So it's kind of like from your hip
Yes.
to your knee is about her body, and then the rest of it is just her 2 tentacles. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Just wanted to see if it was possible to, like, maybe...
Ride her?
Yeah.
Well,
Here's
here's the thing.
Cruel, you can use your like the water jetpack.
Yeah, I will never say no to your ideas. Will?
Definitely gonna try. Is it gonna go badly? Maybe.
Maybe.
What's that can happen?
What's the worst that could happen, we say, as Milo has left for a moment to
Oh,
go
no.
to the bathroom?
Why do I come back to what's the worst that could happen?
Exactly.
Yeah, Milo literally walks off into the woods to take a leak and comes back to V in the ocean with Aurelia kind of in between his legs as he's trying to like ride on top of her, slips, falls face first into the water, goes, okay, that's not gonna work, and begins to like wade out with her. Now here's the thing. Can a tentacle technically carry you? Yes, but it is A, very slippery. B, you have to understand that the water here, like, it goes on for a while. It is a beach. So, like, you're wading out, just like we did at the lake. You're, like,
Yep.
out here, and the water is, like, to your waist.
Yeah, that's fine. It gives me some room to work this out.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, roll me a dexterity check with, well, you've never done this before. Here's the thing. You've never done this before. This takes practice. Give me a dexterity check
why
with
we're
disadvantage. Yep.
This is the practice.
This is the practice.
5.
Cool. You're like, okay, Aurelia, we're gonna do this, and Aurelia below you kind of gurgles, just goes, and dips down into the water, and you're like, okay, I'm hanging on, I'm shit, and you just
Where'd
kind of
you go?
like bob back up, because yeah, your fingers just slip off of her.
Oop.
Alright, Try it again. It's fine. This will work.
Okay.
I'm sure it'll work.
Roll me another one with disadvantage.
Okay. Also, just most of my stuff is over on the beach, like my backpack and
Yeah, I figured you didn't
shoes
bring your
and most
Pokedex
of
and stuff.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most of everything I own because water.
All
But
right.
he's probably yeah, he probably would have stripped down to like he's still wearing his shirt, but he's just wearing like his boxers.
Okay. So you're just
So
in your
that, you
underwear,
know, my
undergarments,
yep,
in the water,
yep,
trying to ride on your tentacle.
yep,
Very nice.
yep.
You know, you'd think I'd be surprised by these
There.
actions.
You're welcome.
Hell yeah, dude.
I don't. V is the master of the impossible. Give him a task that is impossible.
You can't
and
tell him he can't do something. He'll figure it out.
God
He
damn.
runs on spite.
I need to
Now
pause.
go grab that cloister right now.
Right? We're fucking gonna try.
Now that you have a water jetpack, it is time.
This is your moment.
I'm literally like laughing to tears right now because only you. Alright, here's the thing. You get on Tentacle, yes, you do run on Spite. How do you do this, V? How do you make it so the Tentacle, you don't lose grip on the Tentacle? What's your plan here, as it were? I will take any answer. You already rolled a natural 20. I just need to know...
Yeah.
The logic.
The logic, yes.
He probably just, like, holds on and, like, maybe uses her tentacles to, like, kind of tie himself onto her almost.
Okay.
Like reins or something.
Yep.
I don't know.
Alright.
Yep.
I don't know if that would work or not, but apparently it does.
Apparently it does. You're like very carefully like, okay, Aurelia, don't sting me. Okay, I'm gonna wrap these.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. And Aurelia, this entire time, she can't maintain eye contact with you because she's facing forward. But you can see her being like, what the fuck is happening right now? And you slowly wrap your arms
She'll get used to it.
Yeah. She has no choice. You wrap
this
your
is
arms
her life now.
around her, like the redder bulbs on there, and those are a little bit harder than the rest of her body. And you're like, okay, I think we're ready. And you take a deep breath, and you go under, and she begins to swim slowly, and then quickly, and then even more quickly. And Kid and Milo, you turn around at some point, and you're like, okay, yeah, anyway, V's over there playing. You turn around, Milo's fucking gone, man. Or not Milo, sorry. V's fucking gone, man. Like, he's no longer there.
I did bring my rebreather. So I did bring that.
Okay.
Just in case.
I'm sure it's fine, right? Like, it'll come back up for air eventually, right? I mean...
At that moment, you hear, and, like, yeah, V resurfaces for a second, adjusts his rebreather, and goes back down under. He's really far out. He's, like, quite a ways away from you. V, I need you to roll me just a straight up D20, please.
Yeah, alright.
No.
Okay. No, that's actually really cool because, yeah, you put the rebreather in your mouth, kind of adjust to it, look down. Now, here's the cool thing. Tentacle does glow a little bit, or at least it can. So at first you're just looking down, and you're like, man, it's really dark, and there's, like, nothing fucking here. But then Tentacle slowly begins to softly glow, and you begin to see it reflecting in red light. Onto the reef below you, there is a very nice, very healthy-looking coral reef just below, and it's a little bit spooky, because you can see a lot of things that are just kind of there, swaying, seaweeds swaying just below you, corals that are growing in these spiny extensions, plate corals and everything. And your eyes are searching. You're like, okay, cloister, cloister, cloister. And you see a glint of purple. And at the same time as you do, you kind of squeeze Aurelia a little bit to kind of get her to turn and angle your body. And as you swim closer, you see a purple shell down under one of the plate corals. And as you approach, it opens up and you see two eyes peek out at you. It is not a cloister, but you have found yourself a shelter.
Oh. A shelter.
What are you doing? What's the plan?
Alright. Aurelia, let's go down there. We're gonna go get him. Do not let me drown. That's your prime objective here, is don't let me die in the water.
Okay.
And I guess if I can't grab him, then help me get him. We're just gonna get him, bring him back to land, make a friend, right?
Okay, so you're not actually battling it or anything. You're just straight up gonna dive, grab the shelter. Okay. Okay. No, that's cool.
Gonna try.
Yep. Okay. Milo or Kid, can you guys roll me perception checks? Oh God, why is Pidgey so big?
Giant Piper.
We can do perception.
Perception, sure. Sequence.
Yeah, you guys are squinting out into the surf, and you see V resurface, and both of you kind of, because it does, sound does carry a little bit, and it's not super, the waves aren't super loud. You hear bits of this conversation that are essentially, don't let me drown, gonna go get it, bring it, land. So you are pretty certain he's discovered something.
I want to help him. I don't know how.
I hope it's a cloister. That'd be fucking cool.
That would be really cool. But I seriously don't think he's going to be able to catch it. And if he fights it, that could be bad. So, he'll kind of look down at Piper and be like, why don't you just fly on over there and just circle above there for a little bit? Keep your eyes on the water, and if things seem bad, just let me know. Go have Piper just start doing like an aerial patrol in that area.
All right, great. While Piper is doing an aerial patrol, V, I guess, are you diving or is Aurelia diving? What's happening? Like, how are you planning to execute this grab shelter and drag it back to land scenario?
I'm gonna try to do like a pincer maneuver. Like, I'll be on one side and she can be on the other, and if I miss or it goes the other way, she's gonna try to grab him.
Okay. This is gonna be excellent. Go ahead and roll me an athletics check from you and an athletics check from Aurelia, and I will be rolling for the shelter because it has definitely seen you and it will be trying to escape.
Don't escape, come back.
He was just having a nap.
Athletics from me. God. Is it strength?
I think it is
Right.
strength, yes. Mm-hmm. For Aurelia. Okay.
Hey.
Nice.
Alright.
I will be rolling a dex check for the shelter. This poor tiny shelter's like, what the fuck is going on? Okay.
I just want to be friends. Come here.
All right. That's for you, and that's for. Aurelia dives down no problem. Obviously, she's very comfortable in this environment. You hang on to the surface for a little bit before you realize that you have to exhale in order to get the water out of your lung, or not the water, the air out of your lungs in order to sink properly, and then you begin to kick. You're not an experienced swimmer, I don't think.
No.
Like, you lived in
He
Pallet.
does not swim very well.
Yeah, I kind of figured. And, like, you don't have to be fast or anything, but even so, fighting against the water all around you and trying to get yourself down, like, diving directly down if you don't know how to, is relatively difficult. So Aurelia goes down there, kind of glances up at you, and you're still struggling to be like, okay, I'm floating back up. Shit. No, go down, go down. And this Shelder
What?
sees you, sees Aurelia, and immediately begins to kind of flap its flap its shell, for lack of a better word, and just goes and begins to just kind of like escape. It's trying to get away from Aurelia, who is
No.
and
Come here.
going towards you because you're the weak part of this pitch maneuver.
Throw a Pokeball at it.
I wanted to see if I could make it my friend without having to do that.
Aurelia
Did you
is
bring your Pokeballs with you in underwear and a shirt? Did you tell me your drawings?
Yeah, I don't even know if I brought a Pokeball.
I don't think you did, because you said you left all your stuff.
Which is why,
at home.
yeah, which is why I'm trying to get it to just come with me.
Okay. It is currently swimming away towards you. Aurelia looks like she might be able to catch up to it, but would you like to kind of like motion for her to go after?
Yeah, I
okay.
want. Yeah, she's supposed to catch it if I can't get it.
Okay.
If I miss.
Go ahead and roll an initiative for Aurelia then. What's her swimming speed, by the way?
30 feet.
30 feet, okay. Damn, Shelder is not fast.
Shelter!
Yeah, no.
Shelter!
I fucking rolled a 3. Yeah. Aurelia straight up shoots forward and kind of gets under you where the Shelder is trying to get away and wraps both of her tentacles around it. I think at this point, though, it will not have a good time, so we will have to go into a battle because... And this will be fun, too. Because it's going to try to battle your... God, would you be able to throw out commands? We'll figure it out.
She's under commands to take it back to shore.
Okay. It'll be a fun little exercise here. All right, so hold on, let me add her in, and she rolled a 12 initiative, or 13 was it?
12.
Oh, okay. And the Shelder rolled a whopping 3, so that's great.
Good job, boy.
Yep. Hello, Shelder. Give me 1 second.
Jacob, have you gone to the school yet? And, Scarlet?
No.
How? How?
You know what's really funny? If you don't go to the school, you don't, if you don't go to the school, then they don't actually, like, activate the night and day cycle, so it's been perpetual day in my, game. It's really funny.
Tracks.
I realized that
Tracks.
I'm stuck in a time paradox, essentially.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you're supposed to do that first day in like a day.
Yep. Nope. I escaped containment, and I am free. My Pokemon don't
Are
even
there-
listen to me half the time. Well, most of them do. The one I got from G doesn't. But we're having fun anyway.
Yeah.
It's fun. It
I
adds
have-
a layer of difficulty to
I have a Riolu that you caught that you said to G that she then passed on to me in my party.
Yes. I'm glad you could get that guy. Okay.
Nice.
Sorry, give me 1 second. Yes, it's HP. Give me an HP bar. All right. So, it is Aurelia's turn first, and she's going to attempt what? A grapple?
Yeah, she's just gonna gently grapple the Shelder and try to bring it back to shore.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a strength check for her. Okay. I'm gonna try to do an opposing dexterity, but that is not enough.
She's trying to be.
Yep.
She's trying to be nice. We're trying not to scare it too badly.
Okay. She wraps her tentacles around the Shelder. It is not able to get away, so its movement is down to 0. But because its movement is down to 0, it is going to panic, and it is going to attempt to tackle her because it does not want to be in the situation. That's a 20 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
That's a total of 2 normal damage.
2 damage.
Oh shit.
So, V, you're hanging above Aurelia and just kind of observing. You're not able to actually say anything, but...
He's also if she's grappled it and then like as soon as she starts to go up back towards the shore, he's gonna like try to help to like keep it still.
Oh boy. Okay.
Put your fingers near the clam.
Okay. So here's what happens. So you're just to make it a little bit easier, you're kind of hanging around here, right? I will say on your turn, yeah, you're gonna swim over towards the shelter.
Yep.
Okay, so you're gonna use your movement for the shelter and also grab it. Aurelia already has it grappled, so she can technically, if you grapple something, can you also drag it? Move it with your movement? Yes.
It's half your movement speed unless they're a size smaller than you, I think.
Okay. I think they're both. Is Aurelia small or tiny?
Small.
Small, okay. Shoulder's technically tiny, so she is technically able to drag it
Full movement speed.
full movement speed. 1.
It's
30
just
feet.
like, having a
Okay. 4,
creature mounted, I think is what it's supposed to be like.
6. What's your swim speed, V?
Mine, I don't know if I have a swim speed. Probably not good.
In which case, you are either getting dragged along or you are falling behind. If you are getting dragged along, Aurelia's swim speed will fall to 15.
Yeah.
Because she has to drag you as well as the shelter.
I'll use...
Dash.
I was going to, but I don't know if I can use that and still have her, like, grapple. But he'll kind of fall behind a little bit and keep an eye, I guess. To try to...
Okay.
If it escapes, to try to help him put it back.
Okay. Sounds good. On the shelter's turn, it will attempt to...
He can actually see you. Why are you so close to the rocks? Why are you so close to the rocks?
Because there's rocks.
You know what? Just for funsies, because you grabbed the shelter earlier, it opens up its shell, and it is going to actually release it towards you, V.
Okay.
But it misses. So don't worry about it. It is your and Aurelia's turn. What are you guys doing? Aurelia presumably keeps on dragging?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Keep bringing it back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'll kind of shout out as I see Aurelia dragging a shelter to shore. Did you want me to try to catch it for you? Do you want me to bring you a Pokeball? What's up, V? What can I do to help? Earth?
Oh, Earth is on a phone call.
Phone call, okay.
But, can you just... what would Shelter like to eat?
Do I know what Shelter like to eat?
Roll, God.
Because I don't know,
nature.
so that means
Roll
I have
nature.
to ask.
Yeah.
I have to ask the universe. Does my character know? 15.
Okay, with a 15 nature, you know that Shelter really likes slowpoke tails.
Slowpoke tails.
Well, I
They
don't
like
have any of
slowpoke
those.
tails.
What do they like to eat that we have?
I've got Pokemon food. That's just basic kibble. He might like that.
Right. I guess on our way back, if Aurelia's got it and I don't really need to help, can I like dive a little bit and try to find some seaweed or something?
Okay. On Aurelia's turn, since it is technically, this is how far you guys are. You can either search around here, or you can go here with your movement. I guess what's your plan? I guess to dive down just.
He's just
directly
gonna.
below?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're still back here in the water. Go ahead and roll me an investigation.
Try and find anything that might look like something I could try to feed it to make it like me.
I will say that the DC is pretty. Fuck you. You can't fucking. Actually, no, I'm sorry. You have to roll with disadvantage because it's fucking nighttime. You're fucking diving. You can't see shit. If you roll again, okay. That's still really fucking good.
15.
Fuck you. You swim
More
down. God damn. You swim down, and you do find some seaweed, yeah. You grab a handful of it just from the thing and begin to pull. Yep. Roll me a strength check. Okay. You yank some of it out, but that's gonna be your turn. Aurelia is still dragging. Shelder is going to tackle Aurelia again. Because it's not really chill with this. 17 to hit?
Yep.
That is 3 damage to Aurelia.
3.
Alright. That's all I can really do.
Just pop back up and just tell him we're not trying to hurt him. We just want to be friends.
Alright. Alright.
Can a tentacle make a persuasion check? Like, mechanically, I don't see why not.
Mechanically, I don't see why not, but given the tentacle is grappling it right now, it can either grapple and focus on dragging, or it can make a persuasion check by, like, gently petting Shelder with its tentacles. Either way, the persuasion will be at a disadvantage.
You might just have to, do it the old-fashioned way, V, if you really want to get a Shelter.
So, drag or persuade?
You don't know that? Hold on. Keep dragging for now.
Okay.
At least until we get back to the camp.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's getting closer. Shelder will attempt to tackle again. Because it's like, fuck this shit! 18 to hit.
Let go.
That is 7 normal damage.
Ooh. Slightly more.
Okay.
Beefy tackle.
Yeah, it was a very beefy tackle. I think it was max. Yeah, it was max damage. Alright. What are you doing, V? And what's Aurelia doing, I guess?
Just, V moves a little bit closer and just, like, shouts back over to Milo, just like, once she gets over there with him, just grab him and put him in one of the tents, and I'll be there in a minute.
Milo looks over to Kid with pleading eyes for any help to make sense of this madness. But Kid is gone. There's no Kid. He is staring into the flames, absent, and no longer at the wheel.
I would say, I think Kid is having way too much fun to help here. He's just watching this and is like, I just
he's
want to
probably
see how
enjoying
this ends. Yeah. Alright. I guess, Milo, if you wanna, you can roll yourself into the initiative just for funsies, since we're...
Okay. 10.
10?
I forgot to click my token.
Okay. Hold on. Shelder's technically 3 initiative, I don't know why it's... So Aurelia... So that's what you shout. Does Aurelia keep dragging? Because it's getting really shallow, and Aurelia can't really effectively travel over.
Yeah, I'm just gonna tell her to go over to Milo.
Okay. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Milo, you can see Aurelia kind of struggling through the shallow water here. Splashing around. This Shelder is not having a good time. It is super angry at this jellyfish that has seized it.
Yeah,
and it is fighting backwards.
I want to roll one thing. I'm gonna just like, yeah. He's gonna look down at the Shelder and be like, sorry, buddy. And he's just gonna take his one Pokeball he has on his belt. He's just gonna throw it at him. He's gonna try to catch him.
Okay. Let's see.
Just put this to an end with the natural 20.
Yeah.
God damn it, you guys! What is going on? Every time you
Man.
roll, what is
I don't
happening? Why?
I don't know. I
Every
don't know.
Not be
catch.
possible.
Yeah.
There have been so many natural 20s on a catch.
It's just like, it's the saddest catch. This Shelter's thrashing about and the tentacles, like, and he's looking at it like, man,
Oh,
nobody deserves this. He just
But
sort
I
of
was
drops the
going over
Pokeball
with
on him and it
friendship.
clicks and drink.
I just got back from the fall. What even is happening? I just hear everybody sad.
I wanted to win it over with friendship.
There's no way,
he was
yeah.
trying
At
to
this small-
like get the Shelter to join him willingly, and the Shelter was just not having it and kept tackling Aurelia. So V was like, just drag it back to land. Milo, pick it up and put it in a tent, and I'll deal with it later. No.
Not later, when I got back to shore.
Yeah, I know, but
Okay. What Pokeball are you using? Just the regular Pokeball?
just the normal Pokeball, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause I have exactly one normal Pokeball and one type Pokeball left, so.
You bonk it against the Shelter and you can see its eyes widen. It was not ready for that. The Pokeball literally lodges in its shell and envelops it, and it's just wiggling,
No.
and Aurelia, like, taps the ball and it clicks.
He'll pick it up and he'll be like, alright, I'm gonna put him in the tent now. And he'll go and he'll put the Pokeball in one of the tents.
V, go ahead and roll me an athletics to get back to shore.
Yeah, he's probably struggling at this point.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make you roll fucking exhaustion. Yeah.
Yeah, there you
okay, well, actually seeing that would change the plan,
Okay.
because
go.
Milo
He's not
has a
great at
35
swimming.
speed, so
Okay.
if he caught the Shelter and looked up and saw V panic struggling, he'd immediately just put the Pokeball on his belt and jump in and start running out into the water.
V is just kind of out there. It's not like it's super deep, but it's clear that V is exhausted and has been
He's
running
just
on
tired.
the adrenaline and spite. Kid, you have watched all of this go down. What's your reaction? Because, like, literally, V came back up, the tentacle was grabbing the Shelter, and they had an entire, I would say it all took around 5 minutes. It was just like, yeah, Aurelia, just keep on dragging it. And this poor Shelter is just like struggling against the jellyfish that has been slowly getting it to shore.
Kids just enjoy it. This is like dinner and a show, you know. He's just sitting here, Brokey in his lap, Oddish in his hood. Zubat's probably hanging off one shoulder upside down, just snacking. He's eating, just watching. It looks like everything's under control.
Ah, excellent. Excellent.
Milo will eventually swim. I mean, I have a 35-foot swimming speed, so he'll just.
You do.
Good guy.
You're
Did
not...
you put it in the tent?
No, I have it on my waist. I'll give him to you in a second. Come on, let's get you back to shore.
Have you... What?
Milo,
Caught him
can
in a
you roll the
Pokeball.
new Pokemon thing for me, or should I roll
Yeah,
it?
I can roll it. I'm just gonna do the. It's D100, D100, and then D20, right?
Yes.
So
Oh,
that's the shiny chance.
I think that is a shiny chance, yeah. D100.
No.
don't get a 69 on this next one, or we're gonna have a really bad time.
Close.
Okay.
63 for
63,
gender, and then
okay.
excuse me,
14 for nature.
14 for nature.
Okay. You guys need to
See,
stop rolling so fucking well on catching Pokemon. This is
my God.
ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. Like, there's no
You can't.
point in even calculating the DC because it's like 27.
Yeah. Like, you have rolled so many goddamn... I'm so angry.
Almost every Pokemon that I've caught has been with a critical catch.
Yeah, but not only has both the kids been that, one of them didn't even need a battle to be caught.
Yep.
That's what I was hoping for with Shelter, but it
It's a
obviously did
curious
not work out
Shelter.
that well. Aw. He was curious until he got assaulted.
Yeah, he was like, my curiosity. Look where it has gotten me.
What
Oh,
is it?
no.
Ah, what has my
Hold on.
curiosity got?
Alright, give me 1 sec. I'm just gonna bat it in. Guess what gender it is? It's another girl.
Another girl.
All girls, all the time.
All
Sheila the
girls.
Shelter.
Sheila the Shelter. And I guess currently it is technically in the possession of Milo.
Yep.
But
Technically,
Caught
it's
my
my
Sheldon.
Pokemon.
Yeah, this is like the reverse because V caught the Pidgey you were battling, and now you caught the shelter they were trying to get.
Still my Sheldon.
It's
uh,
karma.
since it has two different types of abilities, can you roll me 1d4 to decide on which ability it has? Evens or odds? I just need to know.
Even.
Even. Okay. All right. And curious is plus wisdom and minus constitution, which for a
That tracks.
shelter is a little bit strange, but sure.
It's unfortunate.
She's just a little weak.
Yeah.
It's fine.
She's got a trainer.
She's
get out of
had
there.
a hell of a time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was something to watch. They definitely don't teach us how to do that in the Trainer Academy. Nope.
I think even if they did, probably V would not give a shit.
He's just kind of like laying on the edge of the beach, just like trying to catch his breath.
You should go swimming more.
Just for fun, roll me a Constitution saving throw, V. For exhaustion.
12.
12. I would say that's enough. It was just DC 10 just to see.
Yeah. He's just like, Milo, where were we supposed to practice swimming?
We lived. I mean, it was an hour or two, but the beach wasn't far. There was also a pool at the school, and there was one at the community center. I mean, there were a lot of
Wow,
places to
there was a
practice
lot of
swimming.
great places that we never went.
I invited you to come with me every time, but you always said, Milo, it's 6:30 in the morning and I'm sleeping, go away.
Exactly. Why
Just
couldn't
sort of
you go at a normal time, like a normal person?
I mean, we could have gone back, but I figured you just didn't want to go.
I didn't want to go to the ass crack of dawn.
That's when it's the best. No one's there. The water feels awesome.
There's a reason there's no one there.
Is there?
Because everybody else is not insane.
If you get there before everybody else gets there, you don't have to worry about anybody having peed in the pool yet.
Also a fair
Maybe.
point. It's very true.
It's not like they clean the whole thing overnight. If someone peed in there last night, it's still there.
I mean, pools have filters on them. They just kind of constantly filter. During the day, the pee to filter ratio builds up more than the filters can handle, but overnight, the filters can filter it all out.
And this is why we didn't go to the public community pool. Because that's still disgusting.
Can't argue with that one. That they are. But swimming is important, and exercise is important, and if
And I'm
you
tired.
practiced more, then you wouldn't be dying when you go out to try to kill yourself like that. What possessed you to try? He kind of like looks down. He'll take the Pokeball for the shelter off his belt, and he'll release the shelter onto the shore.
Yeah, that was a good start, though. That was a great start. Now we just need to do it a couple more times. You good for that, right, V?
Yeah. Give me 20 minutes.
The shelter immediately, upon being released, looks around, glances about, and just shuts its shell tightly, and you cannot see anything except the shell.
Aw,
No, buddy,
poor
come on.
guy.
See, I was just trying to be friends. Like, V crouches down next to the shelter and kind of like just gently taps it on the top of the shell. Just, hey,
Hey, no, just talk.
I
to
mean, I didn't want to hurt you, which is why I was just trying to take you back to shore, so maybe I could give you, like, a treat or something. I just want to be friends.
Milo will reach in his bag. He'll hand you some Pokemon food to feed it.
As you do that, he's like holding out the fistful of seaweed that he has.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you had seaweed. My bad. I received it.
Go ahead and roll
And
me
he
a
just, like,
persuasion check with
Gently,
disadvantage.
just gently like taps it on the top of the shell.
Okay.
Come on, man. I was trying to be nice.
Go ahead and
I
roll
don't know.
persuasion with disadvantage, yeah, okay.
I like to imagine V thinks he's gently tapping it. Was probably like knocking it on the side of the head like a
Whap, whap,
sibling
whap,
does.
whap, whap.
No,
Trying
Lenny.
to be
No.
gentle.
No. Be gentle, Lenny.
You kind of do this and present the seaweed, and you see the shell crack a little bit, and you see the flash of eyes, and it's squinting at you. It is glaring at you, and then it shuts its shell again. It doesn't seem to be super interested in the seaweed.
Alright. You got those other things that you were saying? Apparently doesn't like that.
Alright, let's see. And he'll take out just a serving of the Pokemon kibble food we have. Kind of like hand that to V to give it. See if he likes that.
Come on, man. He just like reaches forward with one of the like chunks of food and like presses it against the crack in the shell.
No, just put it on the beach right in front of him, and then kind of give
Eat
him a foot.
Also, be careful. Keep your hand like open wide. Don't put fingertips near the
As
shell.
Kid is
You
saying
will
that,
snap your foot up.
as Kid is saying that, V, roll me a dexterity saving throw.
There are some lessons you must only learn through practice, kid.
I mean, if he lets him like eat his hand in like a kind of like a dominance kind of thing, it shouldn't hurt that bad, right? He just lets it happen.
He lets it happen.
So that it's like the thing where you just like let something bite you. You're like, you can't scare me.
Okay. It clamps down on your hand. Roll me a Constitution saving throw to see if you can actually do the whole dominance. Okay. It fucking hurts, and you actually like you do your best, but you're like, okay. 4 points of damage. Your fingers are pretty fucking stuck in there, and also they hurt like hell. If it didn't break your fingers, but it's like getting your car slammed in a car door. Your fingers stuck in a car door.
Let go. Let him go, Sheila. It's okay. Just let him go.
Milo, roll a persuasion.
Yeah, he'll kind of like put his hand on the back of the shelter and try to like calm her down.
Hurts more than I thought it would.
15?
There's a pause, a long, long pause, and then the shell opens just briefly to release the fingers, and a long tongue swipes out at the Pokemon food that V has now dropped into the sand, and then the shell clamps shut again.
See? She likes the food. Or how are your fingers? Let me see those.
Luckily, Blur sent bandages, remember?
Yeah, can I check to see if they're broken?
Yeah, roll me a medicine check.
Fine.
Yeah, because like 4, that's an 8. That probably hurts to do that.
You're like, the finger bones being broken isn't immediately apparent. You're gonna have to see how much they swell, but you're pretty sure they're gonna swell up tomorrow even worse, and they're not gonna be usable. Now, V, I'm pretty sure because you didn't specify, you did do this with your dominant hand?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, you're gonna
his left hand.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have trouble using that hand tomorrow and possibly the next day.
How much damage have you taken?
All of it.
What hit points are you at?
I'm fine right now because I used a hit die before
right.
Yeah.
And healed. But if I hadn't, I would be down to like 6.
All right. Well, did you want to raise the shoulder?
But she doesn't seem to like me very much.
Win her over. Well, trade her to you, and then you can be her trainer since you were the one that kind of flushed her out anyway. win her over, just like you do everybody, and see what you can make of her. I think it'd be a fun challenge.
He just kind of like sits down a little like unhappily.
What do you think about that, Sheila? He'll look down at the shelter between us.
There is no answer.
Aw, come on. Don't you want to be a cloister? Be big and strong? I can tell you right now, V can get you there. You just gotta trust him. He's a good guy. He's just kid, what's the opposite of wise?
Hey,
Brave.
Yeah. Brave.
what? It's not the opposite.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys did manage to get a shelter. You could always like try to lure more shelter.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to be mine, I could go find another one. He kind of just like pushes some sand with his foot towards Shelter to like bury it a little bit.
I'll leave it up to the both of you. I know a nice person back in Pallet City that would take great care of Shelter. Unfortunately, I don't really have a need for water Pokemon on my team right now, but they would definitely take great care of you. I know they have like a big pool where water Pokemon can swim around and explore, so you could have a nice, good life there. Or you could join up with V and see what he can make of both of you. But he'll kind of just put the Pokeball down in the sand. It's all good with me. Then he'll just step back. It's up to you guys. I just wanted to help and didn't want to get destroyed by a shelter, because that sounded like a really bad suggestion. Man.
V kind of just sits back and he's sitting in the sand, like wrapping his hand.
3 text messages go off in rapid succession.
Yes.
SMS text,
Yeah.
text limiting. It's like,
Oh,
bzz,
yeah.
bzz, bzz,
Yep.
what did we do? Oh no.
You have activated the professor.
The professor card.
I can't even check that because I can't use my hand.
Yeah, you're gonna have to
This
use
is
your right
great.
hand.
Oh god.
For the time being, Shelter seems to be completely unresponsive. She's just kind of laying in the sand. She doesn't seem to mind being buried. She's just there.
Fine. Go ahead and pout. He just like lays down in the sand. But if you want like a good trainer and you want to have a good life, he just like points at her side from the side, just like, then you know where to go.